Selamat sore Pelari Kop Run 2021. Good afternoon to all Kop Run Runners 2021. Selamat datang pada rangkaian coaching klinik edisi ketiga hari ini. Bagaimana kondisi para runners? Semoga selalu diberikan kesehatan dan dijauhkan dari segala penyakit. Amin. Dan untuk pelari Kop Run terutama di Pulau Jawa dan Pulau Bali dan juga daerah-daerah lainnya pastinya, yuk dukung terus kebijakan pemerintah kita tentang peraturan PPKM secara bijak juga. Dan perkenalkan, saya Yanuar Sitorus dan saya akan menjadi moderator Anda pada hari ini. Kalau kemarin di kelas pertama kita sudah mendapatkan ilmu tentang menjaga nutrisi, all about nutrition, how we keep the nutrition on our sport. And di kelas kedua kita mendapatkan ilmu tentang banyak juga ilmu tentang pengalaman-pengalaman dari 3 coach kenapan Indonesia tentang dunia olahraga. Nah, kali ini di coaching klinik kali ini kita akan mendapatkan ilmu dari seorang world class athlete bersama coach Michael Wardian. Sebagai awalan, ada baiknya saya meminta bantuan kepada para pelari Kop Run 2021 yang sudah bergabung untuk dapat mengganti nama display kalian dengan format nama spasi booking ID Anda. Sekali lagi, nama spasi booking ID Anda. Booking ID Anda berupa 7 angka yang didapatkan melalui email konfirmasi by Townscript. Gunanya buat apa? Gunanya agar kita bisa mendata para pelari yang hadir saat ini dan juga bisa saja berkesempatan mengikuti tantangan dan mendapatkan special merchandise dari kita. Selain itu, bagi para pelari Kop Run yang sudah terdaftar, jangan lupa, sekali lagi, jangan lupa untuk download aplikasi LFC Kop Run dan Google Fit di App Store ataupun Play Store, karena kalian terus bisa menyelesaikan tantangan lari kalian hingga tanggal 17 Agustus. Sekali lagi, hingga 17 Agustus 2021. Silakan kunjungi website kita di www.koprun2021.id dan juga follow Instagram kita di @koprun.id. Karena update kegiatan ini tentang Kop Run akan banyak sekali kalian dapatkan di sana. Nah, bagaimana cara menghubungkan kedua aplikasi tersebut? Berikut informasinya. Wow, lengkap sekali informasi bagaimana cara menghubungkan kedua aplikasi tersebut dan semoga informasi tersebut dan juga bisa dilihat di website kita di www.koprun2021.id dan IG kita @koprun.id. Sebelum saya membagikan lebih banyak detail lagi tentang coaching klinik kita pada hari ini, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Tribun Network, Tribunnews, Tribun.io, serta Warta Kota yang mendukung acara coaching klinik kita berjalan hingga hari ini. Sebelum Coach Michael membagikan pengalaman-pengalamannya, jangan lupa untuk memberikan pertanyaan ke chat box yang nantinya akan kita pilih dan kita tanyakan kepada Coach Michael pada sesi tanya jawab. Boleh dalam berbahasa Inggris ya, teman-teman. Mohon maaf untuk saat ini, Coach Michael hanya akan menjawab pertanyaan yang relevan dengan tema kita hari ini. Untuk pertanyaan lainnya akan dijawab secara terpisah. Dan tetaplah bersama kami di coaching klinik hari ini karena di akhir acara, Coach Michael akan memberikan tantangan kepada kalian berupa pertanyaan dan bisa saja berkesempatan mendapatkan merchandise spesial dari kita. So now, let the show begins. So, Coach Michael ini adalah seorang world class athlete. Wow, jadi Coach Michael ini seorang world class athlete dan dia sudah banyak sekali menorehkan prestasi bertaraf internasional. Salah satunya ada 3 United States of America Olympic Trails qualifier in 2004, 8, and 12, and has a personal best marathon time of 2 hours 17 minutes 49 seconds in 2011 at the Grandma's Marathon. 6-time member of Team USA for the 100K World Championship in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14. In 2011, he leads the team to the first ever team gold medal for the USA men with his second place finish. and also three-time member of the Team USA for the 50K World Championships in 2009, 10, and 14. And Coach Mike was the bronze medalist for the USA in 2009 and 2010. Last but not least, also this is the highlight from Coach Mike achievement. Coach Michael has won multiple USATF national championships from 2008 to 2011. Wow, banyak sekali ya penghargaan yang telah diraih oleh Coach Michael ini. Dan juga ini jadwal Coach Michael ini susah sekali untuk kita dapatkan. Jadi kalian semua yang ada di coaching clinic hari ini sangat beruntung karena selain jadwalnya juga susah, dia juga merupakan idola dari para runners ya. Daripada saya doang nih yang ngasih tahu, mending kalian yang tahu sendiri langsung dari orangnya. Better for you guys to know more about his achievement from Coach Michael directly. Okay, so now please welcome Coach Michael Wardian. Hi, Coach. Hello, Coach. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you, Coach. Hi, Coach Michael.
Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys, and nice to be here.
Okay, so how are you, Coach, today?
Good. It's early here, so I'm outside in my car, not to wake up the family, but I'm doing really well. Excited to start the day on a good note and to talk to you guys.
So I believe you stay in Washington, D.C., right?
Yeah, we are based in Washington, D.C. Right now, we're in a little beach town called Rehoboth Beach in Delaware, so even further to the east.
So what time right now in Washington, D.C., in your place right now?
Right now, it's 6:19 in the morning.
Wow, so it's very early morning. So you want to start the activity right now? After
yeah,
this
sure,
coaching clinic?
Go. Yeah,
okay.
I'm excited.
What is your activity nowadays? I mean, like since this pandemic, right? So what activity you do? Maybe is it impact with your activity, sport activity, like a running or something?
Yeah, so the pandemic has been really interesting for running. It's been much more individualistic. I've done a lot of instead of races, I've done a lot of what's known as fastest known time, so kind of self-directed projects. And then I've done a lot more strength training just because it's been the chance to kind of refocus on that. So I've been doing a lot of strength training, a lot of running, and now I'm into a sport called pickleball. So so that's a little bit different than what I've been doing in the past.
Okay, so jadi Coach Michael ini selama kesehariannya sekarang ini dia hanya berlari di sore hari dan juga training tentang bagaimana menguatkan dirinya, juga memperbanyak latihan-latihan yang lebih di lingkungan sekitar. So to the next question, when and what is your first running competition? I mean, like your very first competition.
My very first competition was I heard about a 5-kilometer race in high school, and if you won, we have a tradition here that a lot of people race on Thanksgiving. So it was a Thanksgiving Day type race, and if you won, you got a free school lunch. So I did that race to win a school lunch, and I ended up winning the race and got a school lunch. But I was playing a different sport at the time called lacrosse, so I just thought, wow, that was fun, and I never really raced again until I graduated from college. So yeah, it was just kind of like a one-off thing. And then my first race out of college was I did a 21K or a half marathon and did really well.
Okay, so Coach Michael ini kompetisi pertamanya ketika dia masih bersekolah, karena dia ngikuti kompetisi karena ada gratisan makan siang di sekolahnya. Wow, itu juga oke lah ya. Kemudian juga, tapi setelah dari sekolahnya, selama dia berkuliah ataupun meneruskan pendidikannya, dia mengikuti lari 21 km. Nah, and then what is your first marathon competition?
My first marathon was the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I actually didn't want to run that race though. I wanted to run the Boston Marathon, but
Mm-hmm.
then I realized that you had to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So I ran the Marine Corps Marathon in 1996, and I
Mm-hmm.
qualified for the Boston Marathon on my first race, which is I didn't think a big deal, but actually turned out to be like it's a pretty unique experience because most people spend a long time trying to get fast enough to qualify for Boston. So I was really lucky to be able to qualify on my first go.
So you joined the Boston competition, Boston Marathon.
Yeah, in 1997 was my first Boston, and I've done it now, I think almost 20 times. I think this
Wow.
fall will be like 19th Boston Marathon, maybe.
Okay, is it Boston Marathon is the famous marathon competition in US?
It's one of the most famous, yeah, in the U.S. and around the world, as far as I understand.
Okay,
It's part of the
so
World Marathon Majors, so
mhm.
it's Boston, Tokyo, London, Berlin, Chicago, um, and I think that's it, right? There's six.
Iya, iya, six. So, jadi para partisipan, para runners yang di coaching clinic, jadi Coach Michael ini mengikuti banyak sekali pertandingan ataupun kompetisi maraton di dunia pastinya. Dan salah satunya highlights dari karirnya Coach Michael juga, dia sudah mengikuti berbagai kejuaraan ataupun kompetisi di berbagai benua di sini. Okay, so you're already running around the world. So meaning to say that all the continent you already tasted, right? So like in what competition that you not only compete in the
I've,
competition?
uh,
Yeah, so
yep.
like in what competition that you not only compete in the competition, but also with the environment? I mean, like, do you have any experience with the extreme weather? Like it's very cold environment or it's very extreme hot?
Yeah, I have experience with both. So for hot, I've done the Badwater Ultra Marathon in Death Valley. It's the hottest place in the world, and so the temperatures go, quite high, above like 40 degrees, and it's 135 miles, so that's a little bit over 200 Ks, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then as far as cold weather, I've done two marathons in Antarctica, but I'd say the coldest marathon I've done is at the North Pole. So in 2014, I won the North Pole Marathon. So that was pretty special. And for me, it was really awesome because it was a chance to test myself in a climate that I really preferred running in hot weather. And so cold weather was something I hated. And I figured if I can run a marathon in the coldest place that I know of, maybe that'll allow me to do more in extreme conditions on the frigid side, and so that's what I did, and it went really well, and it kind of opened up a whole part of the world to me.
Oke, so Coach Michael ini sudah pernah merasakan tempat ataupun kompetisi yang sangat ekstrim cuacanya, baik yang sangat panas ataupun yang sangat dingin. Jadi sangat panas itu pernah sampai di 40 derajat 40 derajat untuk lari sejauh 200 km dan juga untuk yang cuaca sangat dingin itu di North Pole Marathon itu tahun 2014. So means like you already achieve many things in competition. So what is your biggest achievement ever? Maybe like you ever break the new world record maybe?
Yeah, I've had a couple world records. I've set world records dressed as Elvis, which was really cool. I've set records pushing my son in a jog stroller. I've set world records on the treadmill for 50 kilometers. I've one of my favorite world records is I won the marathon dressed as Spider-Man and set a world record as Spider-Man. But I'd say probably the biggest thing for me, especially like I don't know if you guys are following the Olympics, but you mentioned it in the introduction. Winning a medal for your country is probably the biggest thing that I'm proud of. So the silver and gold medals at the 100K and 50K World Championships, like those are really really special to me.
Ya, oke. So Coach Michael ini yang biggest achievement-nya itu apa namanya pernah berdress sebagai Elvis juga untuk maratonnya, pernah juga menggunakan kostum Spider-Man, and then treadmill sejauh 50 km secara indoor. Tapi yang dia sangat berkesan adalah meraih silver and gold medal untuk World Championship Marathon. So hold on, Coach Michael. So Coach Michael, before we continue, I would like to remind our participant to type their question to our chat box. So runners, don't forget to giving or typing the question on our chat box. Jangan lupa untuk memberikan pertanyaan ke chat box kita yang nantinya akan kita pilih dan kita tanyakan kepada Coach Michael pada sesi tanya jawab. Kalau misalkan mau tulis dalam bahasa Inggris, silahkan. Mohon maaf untuk saat ini, Coach Michael hanya akan menjawab pertanyaan yang relevan dengan tema kita hari ini. Never give up figure. Untuk pertanyaan lainnya akan dijawab secara terpisah. Dan tetaplah bersama kami di Coaching Clinic hari ini, karena di akhir acara, Coach Michael akan memberikan tantangan kepada kalian dan bisa saja berkesempatan untuk mendapatkan merchandise spesial dari kita. Oke, back to you, Coach Michael. So, you already running like more than 70 or maybe hundreds of competition like marathons or 5K or something like that. So what is your preparation far before you joining the running competition? Is there any typical preparation that you do before the competition?
Yeah, I'd say I mean I'm running quite frequently, so pretty much every day I'm running once or twice a day. So putting in a lot of volume, and then depending on the event, I do marathons and ultra marathons along with the shorter races. So depending on what the event is, I want to get as specific as possible. So if a couple weeks ago I just did the Hard Rock 100-mile race, and it's got 10,000 meters of climbing or elevation gain, and so to get ready for that, I was trying to run a lot of hills, and then running in like a weight vest to try to get used to just having you know, to work your legs a little bit more. And then if I'm doing something faster or shorter, like a marathon, then I'll want to be going to the track. So it gets pretty specific, but basically every day I want to do some kind of activity. And I want to run at least once a day, and then I augment that with strength training. So I do strength training probably 3 to 5 days a week.
Oke, so Coach Michael ini dia sebelum apa namanya persiapan yang dia lakukan adalah selalu melakukan lari secara berkala untuk acara-acara kompetisi yang akan dia ikuti. Kemudian juga dia lebih memfokuskan kepada latihan-latihan yang memberikan kekuatan kepada tubuh dan secara fisiklinya. Oke, so that's on your side, Coach Michael. So is there any tips to our participant, our runners now in coaching clinic, how to do the simple preparation before running, Coach Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, like as far as like getting ready to run, is I'm not a big proponent of doing a lot of stretching, but I think doing a little bit of stretching, maybe two minutes worth, is
Mhm.
pretty a pretty good way to get started. So just some, touching your toes, maybe doing some squats, doing a little bit of like butt kicks with your legs. And then I always start the first kilometer pretty slow just to get my body used to getting into the run, and then work up to speed. So like I think if you start your runs a little bit slower, that's a good way to get everything loosened up, and then get into whatever pace you're trying to run for the run. I think that's a really good way to do it. And then to do maybe a couple minutes of some activation after you finish the run. But I don't like it to be more than, 2 or 3 minutes, because then it starts to become like a chore.
Oke, so Coach Michael ini memberikan tips kepada kita para runners adalah dengan melakukan latihan-latihan dasar untuk membiasakan diri kita untuk istilah pemanasan seperti squat, stretching, or something like that. Kemudian juga mungkin bisa dimulai dengan lari-lari yang perlahan ataupun slower, sekitar 1 kilometer, lebih untuk mengadaptasi lingkungan dan juga tubuh kita. Tapi dia juga menyarankan mungkin saja tidak lebih 2 atau 3 menit karena agar bisa beradaptasi dengan lingkungan sekitar, dengan tubuh kita juga. So, um, so in about like about the preparation, is there any particular meals that you consume while your preparation period? Is there any meals that you
Yeah.
consume?
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing, and you know this too, is running's a full-time sport. So when you're not running, you're recovering. So I'm a vegetarian. I eat pretty um, well, I'd say. And getting ready to run in the morning, I usually run fasted. So like with no kind of fuel. But if I'm doing a race or a really, really long event or a run, 3 hours. So 3 hours before, I will eat a bowl of oatmeal or porridge. And then about 90 minutes before, I'll have some toast with almond butter and honey. And then I like to try to do it 90 minutes or more beforehand so that I can go to the bathroom and everything before the run. And that seemed to work pretty well for me. And then I don't drink coffee or anything, but I do have friends that drink coffee and they seem to do that. But I'll just have a couple sips of water and then head out for the run. So that's kind of what I do leading up to a longer run or event.
Oke, so Coach Michael ini pola makannya lebih lebih teratur karena dia juga merupakan seorang vegetarian ya. Jadi dia sering melakukan lari di pagi hari tanpa memulai makan terlebih dahulu, jadi dalam keadaan perut kosong. Tapi dia juga terkadang juga melakukan cara dengan 3 jam sebelumnya makan makanan yang ringan, kemudian juga menuju ke waktu larinya dia mulai makan yang makanan-makanan ringan seperti roti, gandum dan segala macamnya. Dan sebelum lari pastikan dirimu memang fokus terhadap lari tersebut untuk latihan, sehingga seperti ke kamar mandi ataupun kegiatan-kegiatan lain itu tidak mengganggu selama proses berlari kalian. Okay, so like you told me that you are a vegan, right?
Vegetarian.
A
Vegan
vegetarian.
is a little bit more strict.
Okay, so you're vegetarian. So like, is that as a vegetarian, is that really impactful? The concept of the pola, the concept of your meals, about your nutrition, is that very impactful with your activity, like your running activity as a vegetarian?
I feel like it is. I feel like it's helped me a lot. I've been a vegetarian for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been a vegetarian basically as long as I've been a runner, and I feel like it helps me recover faster. I hope that it gives me good energy for the runs, and it just makes me feel good. So I'd say for me, it makes a big difference. I know other people, quite a bit of people that don't eat that way, but for me, it's been really helpful.
Okay, so um, you said that it's already 25 years you decided to be a vegetarian. So like
Yeah.
so like way before that, is there any difference concept or you're healthy before as a vegetarian and as a vegetarian? Is there any difference that impactful with your healthy, like a sport healthy, like something like that?
I just think for me, it was just a evolution from eating meat to not eating meat, and I noticed that I just felt less less encumbered, I guess, when I switched to being a vegetarian. And it just felt a little bit lighter. And so for me, it worked out really well, but I still feel like I was pretty healthy before. I was just more focused on, I didn't know that you could, be an athlete and not eat meat. So it's kind of cool that I discovered that you can do just as well, if not better, without eating meat. But I think it just is all, everybody has their own personal preference, and it's if you haven't maybe tried it, it's worth giving it a try just to see how it works for you. But we're all kind of an experiment of one, and so what works for somebody might not work for somebody else, but for me it works pretty well.
So it means like different people, different concept, different result, right?
Of course, yeah. I think it's like
Mhm.
that in anything. Like what my training might be great for me, but it might not work for you. And it's I think the cool thing about what we do is you can take maybe something that I'm doing and apply it to your own running or your own endurance
Mhm.
events, and the rest of the stuff maybe doesn't work, but there might be that one thing that is useful, and hopefully that helps propel you to where you want to go.
Oke, so peserta coaching klinik, Coach Michael secara summary-nya, kesimpulannya adalah perihal pola makan itu adalah balik lagi ke diri kita masing-masing, bagaimana kita menjaga pola makan kita secara benar, apakah itu 4 sehat 5 sempurna ataupun kita menggunakan diet apa segala macam, tapi perlu diketahui itu harus konsultasi juga ya, saran dari saya sih untuk konsultasi perihal diet, karena itu juga sudah kita bicarakan di kelas pertama. Ya, nah dari Coach Michael sendiri juga mengatakan di dia dampaknya akan berbeda apabila konsep yang dia miliki diaplikasikan oleh kita di Indonesia, karena secara iklim, secara daerah juga berbeda, dan juga secara goals atau kompetisi yang dia ikutin pun berbeda. So, Coach Michael, so what is the biggest preparation that you ever did before the running competition, or like the biggest preparation that you ever do for the marathon competition?
Yeah, for the marathon, I was running anywhere from 100 to 120 miles per week
Mhm,
for years. So like for multiple years,
mhm,
I was always running 100 miles a week. So triple digits running, and that would be track on Tuesdays, a tempo run on Thursdays, and a race on Saturday, and a long run on Sunday. So that's basically what I did from 2003 until 2000 and I don't know 12 or something, and then now I try to do anywhere between 70 and like 120 miles per week.
okay, so like you do the preparation very well. So like so how to maintain your energy? So like in every competition, you have to maintain your energy, right? To get to at least to win the competition, or maybe to the end of the line, like to the finish line. So like how to maintain your energy in the middle of the marathon? I mean, like it's not easy to make your running phase is stable, or you can keep maintain the energy while do the marathon. You have to control everything, right? So how you do the controlling this energy from your side?
Yeah, so again, like I would eat breakfast 3 hours beforehand, and then as soon as the event started, every 6 kilometers, I would take a goo or a gel.
Mhm,
So one gel every 6 kilometers. So it works out to be like 5 to 6 gels over the course of a marathon. And
mhm,
then I augment that with water or some kind of, if they have some kind of sports drink on the course. So depending on what the marathon has, I may take in some fluids but definitely having the gels or goos every 6 to 7 kilometers is the best for me to
Did you?
keep up my
Hmm.
energy.
Oke, so ketika selama berlari di maraton manapun ya, Coach Michael ini dia mempunyai artinya dia tidak apa istilahnya, tidak memaksakan dirinya untuk sampai ke akhir terus menerus, tapi dia mempunyai fase-fase tertentu di mana dia harus apa namanya recharge dirinya, seperti setiap 6 kilometer dia memakan semacam gel untuk energi dan juga meminum air putih. So Coach Michael, during the marathon, if okay, we can say you join the Boston Marathon or maybe like the bad weather competition, is there any point? Is there any point or anything on the track that you feels like down, and then how you to keep up again for that?
Yeah, I think that anytime you do a longer event, you're going to have like a low point or a kind of a bad spot. And I think for me, there's a couple things that I like to think about. I like to think about how lucky I am to be there. So being grateful, I think, is really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I think about like what else would I rather be doing? So usually that's nothing other than what I am doing. So try to be very present in the moment. I try to think that nothing lasts forever. No matter how good you feel, that is temporary, and no matter how bad you feel, that's also going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the time, it comes down to like having some calories. So like getting in some food and some water or sports drink usually can change your mood pretty quickly. And so if I go through that checklist and I'm still not feeling good, then I start just thinking like I have like a little mantra like why not today or be relentless. And so so if my little checklist doesn't work, then I just fall back on kind of like some little sayings, and usually that can get me through. And then if it's a longer ultra marathon or something, and I know I'm going to be out there for a while, I might actually put some music in. And so if those things all don't work, then something's really wrong, and I got to figure out what's going on.
Oke, so Coach Michael ini mengatakan bahwa harus tahu dulu tujuan utama dia ke situ untuk berkompetisi seperti apa. Tapi apa yang dilakukan oleh Coach Michael adalah memikirkan hal-hal yang bahagia, apa tujuannya dia datang ke situ, dan bagaimana dia harus menyelesaikannya, seperti itu sih. Dan juga mungkin saran dia adalah mendengarkan musik, tapi sebagai pelari apabila memang semua itu sudah tidak bisa dikontrol lagi, ya ketika lari ya berlarilah dan memikirkan solusi bagaimana yang terbaik untuk bisa menyelesaikan tantangan yang sudah kita jalani, seperti itu. Oke, so this is the last question from me, from Kop Run. So like, what is your advice, your very best advice to our participant who joined this Kop Run 2021 to finish their challenge optimally? Because like, this Kop Run giving the participant 3 challenge. The first challenge is 5 kilometers, and then the second challenge is up to 21 kilometers, and then the third challenge is up to 100 kilometers. I mean, like they have to choose
Well,
one of the challenge. Yeah, one of the challenge. Just choose one of the challenge. So like, what is your best advice for the runners who attending this coaching clinic?
well, I think the best advice I could give is kind of what they're doing. So try to get as much information as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Try to recruit your family and friends to have them invested in you. Try to make your goal public. I think that's the big thing for me is to try to make sure that I'm held accountable to somebody. And write down whatever your goal is. I think if you write it down, it becomes much more real. So just if you have like a little scrap of paper and put it right next to your toothbrush or somewhere where you can see it, I think that really helps. You say like, hey, I want to do the 5K, or I want to do the 21K, or I want to do the 100K, and then try to think about how you're going to get there. So um and sometimes it can be maybe too much to think of it all at once, but just think about the small things. So, I'm going to run you know this 1K, and then I'll run another 1K, and then all of a sudden you're at 5K or 21K or 100K. And so if you can make it into a little bit smaller thing, it becomes much more achievable.
So it means like a motivation word to you day by day, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great way to put it. I think having a goal each day is something that can help you get where you want to go. And sometimes if you think about it all at once, it becomes much too big to think about, and then you think, why bother? And so if you can make it bite sized, I think there's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? And I think it's one bite at a time. So it's the same with anything, and especially with something this big and pretty cool. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad that your team is up for the challenge.
Ya, so runners yang hadir di coaching clinic, jadi menurut Coach Michael ini dia menyarankan untuk selalu memotivasi diri. Salah satunya yang disarankan adalah mungkin memberikan catatan-catatan kecil yang bisa kita lihat setiap hari bahwa, hey, ada loh tantangan yang harus diselesaikan hari ini. Cari teman-teman yang bisa memotivasi kamu, aduh sampai berlibat. Jadi memotivasi kamu untuk terus berlari dan menyelesaikan tantangan, seperti itu sih. Jadi mencari vibes yang positif untuk dapat menyelesaikan tantangan-tantangan yang sudah kalian pilih. Oke, thank you Coach. Kalau tadi kita sudah banyak sekali mendengar bagaimana sepak terjang, bahkan ilmu dari Coach Michael seputar pengalaman dia selama ini sebagai olahragawan ataupun bisa dikatakan sebagai runners, kini saatnya kita memberikan kesempatan kepada para peserta coaching klinik untuk mendapatkan jawaban dari pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang sudah kita pilihkan. So, this is the time for all the participant or who already typing his question to be answered by you, Coach Michael. So, we
Okay.
already have many questions for you, Coach Michael. So
Okay.
I will pick some of them, and then okay. So this is from Gunawan. Is it safe to running at night? And is there any tips for beginner to choose running at night? Is there any plus and minus for that? Is it okay
Oh yeah.
to us to running at night? Is there any
Yeah.
plus or minus from your side?
Yeah, well, I think that I love running at night. I think that's actually one of my favorite times to run, especially on the trails.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the biggest thing is just make sure that you're in an area where it's safe to run at night. And then I know there's some areas around here where it's a little bit dodgy, but you can find a safe area for running. And then I'd say the biggest thing for me that's changed my idea is having a really nice torch or headlamp. So having a good light makes a huge difference when you run at night, and it allows you to see the trail or the road really well and be seen. So yeah, for me, that's the biggest thing. And then I'd say the cool thing about running at night is it's really peaceful for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be a lot cooler. So like here it's quite hot, and running at night makes it the temperature much nicer. And so and then you get some really cool wildlife, and it feels really special when you're out there under the stars. So like yeah, if you get a chance and you're up for it, running at night is great. And if it is, if you are a little bit nervous, having a friend or contemporary run with you is great. Sometimes it can be hard with scheduling, but if you can get somebody like right before I went and did the 100 miler, I had a friend meet me at midnight. So like at 0:00 hours, and we ran for 3 hours in the middle of the night. And that's the first time he's ever run at night before. So like, yeah, if you can find somebody that's willing to meet you for a nighttime run, it's always nice.
Oke, jadi dari Coach Michael mengatakan bahwa uh, pengalaman untuk berlari di malam hari memang berbeda, tapi yang perlu disiapkan jawaban dari Coach Michael sangat teknikal sekali. Persiapkan diri, persiapkan alat-alat juga seperti mungkin senter yang ditempelkan di kepala sehingga kita bisa melihat track lari kita seperti apa, dan juga itu mungkin juga menjadikan salah satu pilihan yang baik karena secara iklim ataupun udara di sekitar menjadi agak sedikit lebih dingin dan nyaman, sejuk dibandingkan kalau kita berlari di siang hari. Seperti itu. Oke, next question. This is from Alpha Kemal. So how to maintain your determination as a runner? I work on remote area and there is no community to work with. So sometimes it's quite difficult to keep the passion when I run all alone. Warm regards, he said.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It can be tough. I think the cool thing is like we have social media now, and so if you have the ability to connect with people virtually, if you can't be together physically, I think that's been a really great resource. So like having a group, maybe even if you can't run together, maybe you can join a club or something remotely, and things like this coaching clinic, I think is great because there is a little community around it. And even the run that you guys are all training for, I think, knowing that you have people that you will run with at one point will hopefully keep you motivated while you're alone or separated. And so that's what I always try to think about, especially during this lockdown and the pandemic that we've been facing, is eventually, we are going to have the chance to reconnect again and be together. And, so I want to be ready for when that opportunity comes. So I'm going to, train and make sure I maintain my fitness so that when the opportunity arises, I'll be ready. And I think if you can try to, look at that time alone as, that just gives you more flexibility to train when you want. And in that remote area, then you'll be ready for when the opportunity arises, and you'll be able to do what you want to do.
Okay, so before we continue with the another question, so like I want to remind them ya, bagi para pelari Kop Run yang sudah terdaftar, jangan lupa untuk mendownload aplikasi LFC Kop Run dan Google Fit di App Store ataupun Play Store, dan kalian terus bisa menyelesaikan tantangan lari hingga 17 Agustus. Sekali lagi, tantangan lari hanya bisa diselesaikan sampai atau hingga 17 Agustus 2021. Silakan kunjungi website kita di www.kopran2021.id dan jangan lupa follow Instagram kita di @kopran.id karena update kegiatan ini akan banyak sekali kalian dapatkan di sana. Okay, so this is the third question. Maybe we can make it very fast because this is related with the pandemic. So like, okay, what do you think about running wearing mask in this pandemic situation?
Oh yeah, well, when the pandemic was really bad here, I was running in a mask. It's not my favorite, but depending on what kind of mask you get, it's not as bad as I expected. So it's not as good as running without a mask, but it's I'd rather run and wear a mask than not run. So if I have to do it, I will.
Okay, so okay, and then this is the good also. So this is from Made Rentin. What is the best to do when we just start a quarter track? So like we planning like maybe like 1K. We planning to running 1K, but like in the first 250 meters, and then there is a hard rain. Okay, it's very hard rain. And then is it the best way is to continue the running or you stop because your body already adapted with the environment, right? So like sometimes running in the middle of the rain is very cool, he said. Is it positive or negative if we do the running in the middle of the rain? Or you ever
Uh,
have experience when you doing the marathon?
yeah, I've run a lot of marathons in rain, and cold and wind, and so yeah, I think running in the rain is one of my favorite things, especially if it's not too cold rain. But really cold rain is not my favorite, but I'll run in it. I think you just need the right clothes for the really cold rain. But if it's warm rain, then yeah, it's nice. It keeps you super cool, and it feels really powerful to move through it. So yeah, I think it's completely fine, and it's really fun actually.
Okay, thank you, Coach Michael. So that's the end of the question for today. If you like to question or ask Michael Wardian, you can follow his Instagram, right? Or maybe you can follow his activity, and then you can learn about his activity, how he do the preparation before do the sport or running activity. So sayang sekali waktu tanya jawab kita sudah habis. Terima kasih untuk para peserta coaching klinik atas pertanyaan-pertanyaannya. Sekarang kita masuk nih ke bagian yang paling ditunggu-tunggu. Peserta coaching klinik memiliki kesempatan untuk memenangkan merchandise spesial dari kita asal menjawab pertanyaan dari Coach Michael. Setelah Coach Michael memberikan pertanyaan, saya akan membacakan 3 jawaban tercepat dan Coach Michael akan memilih 1 pertanyaan paling benar. So this is the part that we are waiting for.
Okay.
So Coach Michael will giving the question. This is for quiz for all the coaching clinic participant right now in here. So like the first top 3 answer, the most relevant will be the winner, Coach. So do you have any question for this quiz?
Oh yeah, I think if anyone remembers, the coldest marathon that I did, if anyone has the name or can remember where that was, I think that that
Mhm.
would be a good question, and maybe the that person could be the winner. So I don't know if more than one person gets it right, then oh yeah, somebody just got it.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Okay.
first person to
Yeah. Okay.
maybe the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
person to wow, everyone's
Wow.
getting it.
Wow.
Oh, good job.
Everyone get notice. Everyone get notice. So
Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
You guys are
Yay.
crushing.
Perfect. Okay.
Well
Okay.
done.
So there is a first person. Okay. So pertanyaannya sebenarnya saya mau terjemahkan dalam bahasa Indonesia. So dalam maraton apakah Coach Michael memenangkan sebagai yang ekstrim banget untuk yang maraton terdingin? Dan jawabannya adalah North Pole dan paling benar adalah Cepi. So congratulations to Cepi, Coach Michael. We have the winner. Cepi is the winner because Michael Rampisella also giving the same answer. Also Imam Maulana also giving the same question and the same answer. Ali Hadi, Afdal. So everyone is paying attention on this coaching clinic, Coach. Wow, well done, guys. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Cepi as a winner. Anda mendapatkan topi dari Kop Run. Di akhir coaching klinik, tim Kop Run akan menghubungi atau chat kepada Cepi untuk mendapatkan detail dari Cepi ya. Oke, nah ada satu lagi nih. Thank you Coach. Ada satu lagi challenge dari tim Kop Run 2021, yaitu ikuti tantangan dengan posting video kalian seperti referensi berikut ini.
Thank you.
Oke, wait ya Coach. Stay with me first. Just Oke.
Okay.
Jadi ini ada beberapa ada tantangan. Ini adalah warm up dance ya. Jadi ini hanyalah referensi ya. Jadi silakan kalian membuat referensi sekreatif mungkin untuk warm up dance sebelum kalian melakukan running ataupun beraktivitas ataupun berolahraga bagaimana kalian melakukan warm up. Ini adalah hanyalah referensi-referensi saja. Oke, silakan dilihat ada 3 referensi yang kami berikan. Ya, ini dengan 3 model gerakan yang berbeda. Kalian juga boleh menggunakan kegiatan ataupun dengan background ataupun background musik yang lebih kreatif lagi. Tapi video bukan hanya sekedar video ya. Jadi tantangan ini hanya bisa diikuti oleh peserta Lari Kop Run 2021 yang sudah terregistrasi dan mengikuti coaching klinik hari ini saja. Posting video kalian berdurasi 15 detik tersebut di Instagram kalian dan harus diposting maksimal esok hari, yaitu tanggal 8 Agustus. Lewat dari tanggal tersebut, mohon maaf. Dan posting video tersebut di feed Instagram kamu, share juga di story kalian. Bikin caption yang menarik, pastikan ada 3 hashtag yang ada di layar kalian, dan juga tag ke 3 akun Instagram yang ada di layar kalian. Dan jangan lupa juga untuk tag 5 teman kamu untuk di postingan feed kamu. So, kita merahkan Indonesia, gunakan outfit serba merah. Pastikan akun Instagram kamu tidak di private ataupun bukan akun palsu. Oke, kepada para peserta coaching klinik, silakan saya memberikan waktu untuk mengcapture aturannya. Ya, silakan kalian capture, saya kasih waktu karena mekanisme mengikuti Kop Run Challenge ini tidak kita informasikan di sosial media, jadi hanya di sini. Hanya khusus untuk kalian para peserta coaching klinik hari ini. Silakan di capture dalam waktu 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, oke. Selalu ingat untuk berolahraga dengan aman di masa-masa penerapan protokol kesehatan dan juga mematuhi kebijakan PPKM. Mendukung kebijakan pemerintah juga harus dijalankan dengan baik dan juga dengan bijak. Selalu gunakan masker apabila harus bertemu dengan orang lain ataupun keluar rumah. Jaga jarak aman dengan orang sekitar, jauhi kerumunan, dan pastinya stay safe and healthy. Jangan lupa untuk selalu terus mendownload aplikasi LFC Kop Run dan Google Fit di App Store ataupun Play Store. Dan kalian terus bisa menyelesaikan tantangan lari, ingat, hanya sampai tanggal 17 Agustus 2021. Kunjungi website kita di www.koprun2021.id dan follow Instagram kami @koprun.id untuk mendapatkan informasi lengkap seputar Kop Run 2021. Kami mengucapkan terima kasih kembali yang sebanyak-banyaknya kepada Tribun Network, Tribunnews, Tribun.io, dan Warta Kota yang mendukung acara coaching klinik kita berjalan hingga hari ini. Terima kasih kepada para peserta coaching klinik yang terus menemani saya dan Coach Michael hingga akhir acara. Thank you to all participants of coaching clinic that always stay tuned on this coaching clinic with me and Coach Michael until the end of the session. Thank you also to Coach Michael. Thank you, Coach Michael, already attending this coaching clinic and sharing your experiences.
Thank you.
Thank you. Akhir kata atas nama seluruh tim yang bertugas dan terlibat, saya Yanur Sitorus pamit dan sampai jumpa di garis akhir dan juga sampai jumpa di Kop Run 2022 tahun depan. Selamat malam, good evening, and salam Kop Run. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Berawal dari bagian barat Indonesia, kami datang sebagai sahabat yang hadir setiap saat, menemani wilayah demi wilayah dengan jaringan yang tersebar di seluruh Nusantara. Seiring perkembangan zaman, kami mulai beradaptasi bersama majunya teknologi, membentuk dan dibentuk menjadi bagian tak terpisahkan dari masyarakat.
Buku bisa ya? Kalau kita makan sepuasnya, bisa bersih-pasnya?
Prinsip saya ingin berbagi aja, Mas.
Kami percaya setiap pelosok punya keunikan dalam ceritanya. Keanekaragaman yang hadir untuk mempersatukan dan saling menguatkan. Dan itulah tugas kami, membawa beragam kisah dari sudut pandang setiap daerah untuk menjadi mata lokal menjangkau Indonesia.
Terima kasih sudah nonton. Jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan share ya.